Good morning, Pastor. It is Monday, and I'm going to be honest with you, I was not feeling this today at first. I remembered it, and I didn't really feel up to doing it. There's times when it just gets to be a lot. There's times when it gets to be a little bit discouraging. There's been issues going on, and I just really wasn't feeling it. But as I read the passage, I'm glad that I did. And I really appreciate the accountability that this whole project is just making me remember. And so, with that, I'm going to go ahead and get into this. The passage that you gave me was John 14, 1 through 6. So, let's go ahead and read that. Do not let your hearts be troubled. Believe in God. Believe also in me. In my Father's house there are many dwelling places. If it were not so, would I have told you that I go to prepare a place for you? And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again, and will take you to myself, so that where I am, there you may be also. And you know the way to the place where I am going. Thomas said to him, Lord, we do not know where you are going. How can we know the way? Jesus said to him, I am the way, and the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. Now, you and I both know how this passage is typically used. It's basically used to just solidify the fact that salvation only comes through Christ, and to, sort of push out any alternative paths and anything like that. And I know that that's the way that it's typically presented. But to me today, that's not how it hit. To me today, I needed this because, there's so many times where we just feel like we're lost. And, I've been in places before where I was lost. And usually it was going to be back alleys and neighborhoods where there were a whole lot of cross streets and things of that nature, and a whole lot of possible places to turn. And it becomes overwhelming. I watched an episode of Brain Games where they were talking about being overwhelmed by choice. We can go into a place that has like 3 flavors of ice cream, and we'll usually be able to pick one fairly quickly. But when we have, say, 31 flavors, it's usually going to take us a little bit longer. And when we are lost, when we are overwhelmed, it always seems like no matter what we do, no matter what we choose, no matter which way we go, we're going to be getting it wrong. No matter how we move, we're going to get lost. And I think this is where the apostles were. They felt like they had absolutely no idea which way to go, no idea how to get to where Jesus was going. They just felt lost, and they felt overwhelmed. And this is where Jesus comes in and says, don't let your hearts be troubled. Trust me on this. Believe in me. I've got this. There's only one way for you to go, and you already know that way. You can't get lost as long as you stick to what I'm telling you to do, as long as you follow me. This whole last 2 years almost now has felt like just an overwhelming losing battle. And everywhere you look, it seems like there's things that can just go wrong. And Jesus says, I've got you. I'm going to get you through this. I'm going to not only prepare a place for you, but I'm going to come back and take you with me. And that's not just talking about heaven. That's not just talking about that eternal reward. This is Jesus saying, I've been through it. I've already started the path. I've already endured these things. You just follow me. I'll show you where the holes are. I'll shine a light so that you can see. In the midst of that darkness, I'm going to guide you. In the same way that God continued to guide the Israelites through the wilderness, in the same way that God has always continued to be there. One path, one way. And so many times we tend to fight about the direction. So many times we tend to be contentious about which way we're going to go. And Jesus said, you don't have to do all that. You just follow me. You trust in me. And I will guide you to a life more abundant. Not just that heavenly reward, but every step that you take as you move on. I'm going to be there. I'm going to help you through it. And so this morning, when things have seemed a little bit rough and have seemed a little bit overwhelming, and there have been a lot of questions in the air for me, I needed this. I needed that reminder that that light is going to be there. So that's my message for today. Your passage is going to be Ephesians 2, verses 12 through 18. So I look forward to seeing which direction you take that in. I appreciate you, brother, more than you know. And I hope that you have a fantastic week. And I will see you when you do yours.